and welcome back to my channel. My name is T and I love all things skin and beauty. And today we're gonna play around with some more black owned brands. And we have a small indie brand eyeshadow palette to play with that's not a black owned brand, but I felt the need to, this channel is again pretty much about, my love for indie makeup brands and supporting small businesses, and especially whether if it's black owned, minority owned, or woman owned, right? And this just came in the mail, and I remember I put this order in September 4th. It is the Notoriously Morbid palette, and it is the kind of like Valentine's palette, except Notoriously Morbid, they normally do like anti-Valentine's Day type of, palettes. So this one is called Rip My Effin' Heart Out. And it's so pretty. I love the artwork that they always tend to go for their palettes. And then in the back, you have, what the shades are. And it is pretty much what they do is they also mark which shades are, lip safe and things like that. But for this one, I believe they are also cruelty free. They do have another brand that's kind of like under them too, which is Spellcast Beauty. So I also have another palette that came in from that brand, and is also called Swamp of Sadness. And so you can see in the back, there's also like shades and things like that. But this is going to be for another video. I believe they are vegan, cruelty free. And so we are going to definitely have fun with these palettes coming up. But today we'll be playing around with the Notoriously Morbid Rip My Effin' Heart Out. This is what the color story is looking like. So they don't have too many choices when it comes to mattes, especially for this one, but their shimmers, their foils, just pretty much all of their formulas that are shimmer metallic are actually pretty good. I think I see a iridescent, two iridescent shades in here as well. So I'm definitely looking forward to playing with this palette. But without further ado, we are going to start off with our base. And I think the only fungal acne safe foundation that's black owned that I have is Danessa Myricks. Now, definitely do patch tests to be sure, but for me, it is completely fine for me to use for my fungal acne. All right, for this foundation, I am in the shade 8.5. Everything will be in the description box below. And I am just panning this, but I think I have a backup. I'm not sure if this is the exact shade that I have a backup for. But it's really amazing to use, especially when you are in a time crunch. So I have been enjoying this for sure. The brush that I'm using is another Adept Cosmetics brush, P6. But this is also good for, foundation and stuff. But I think in my last video, I kind of talked about, Pat McGrath, small makeup brands, and really doing comparisons to just basically say that, hey, it doesn't necessarily mean that it's just happening to black-owned brands, where you know, one thing is a brand moves into Sephora that is, you know, on the indie side or small side where they're not well known, or they haven't really developed that social engagement that is required in order for them to continue to stay at, you know, Sephora. Because again, it's all about awareness. It's all about, you know, really bringing in people down to the funnel so that you can, you know, get that conversion when it comes down to consumerism, to, you know, direct to consumer brands. And if you really don't have what is required in order for you to stay at Sephora, and you don't have that much social engagement, not a lot of consumers are going to know your brand. And in a space where it's very busy at Sephora, you're most likely not going to get the foot traffic to your shelves the way that you have hoped, or that exposure. And the same thing can go for Ulta too. And Sephora also has that kind of aesthetic when it comes down to some of the brands that are there and do succeed. Some of them are like mid or high end luxury brands that already have that standing when it comes down to being in the makeup space, a makeup space that is so saturated. Um, and one thing is that I am happy that Pat McGrath was able to push through, even though she's not CCO, but she still has her company thriving because of that investment. And so I will still continue to support her in her brand. Her brand is one of my favorite luxury brands. And so I will be continuing to, you know, ride the wave with her. Now, when it comes down to what I mentioned about Oma Beauty, I do think the way that it's going, it's not looking great for Mark Anthony. Mark Ofter. I just don't see it succeeding because of how they ended up with Oma Beauty, the brand, in a shady way and messy way. Y'all should look at the comments. The comments have been wild. And, you know, I am not mad at it. I mean, I think of it as karma. It's honestly deserved. Yeah, unfortunately, I don't see the brand really lasting for at least for one of those reasons. It's just not looking good for them. Especially when, you know, you take over a brand in that way where it has really influenced the makeup space. Is just not going to go in the direction the way that they want it to go. And I don't know who approved that sell, but it's just not looking great for them. I'm going in with the Fenty Beauty Pro Filter Instant Retouch Concealer. And I am using 410. But you know, other than that, we're just gonna see how these brands are going when it comes down to 2026. I don't know. I've been seeing like in the news, you have like some like prestige, well-known brands kind of like having like their, I guess the big company that pretty much owns them kind of like reevaluate their standing and like what portfolios they have of business. I can never go into business. Business seems very, very messy. I'm gonna spray my brush with the Danessa Myricks liquid blurring balm mattifying setting spray. And then I'm just going to blend my concealer in. I'm also using the BK brush in N16. It is from the Nikila Rose collab. My brain is not braining. It's early in the morning, by the way. Yeah, like I was saying, I don't know how I feel about. I mean, I guess they're just not making the sales or not the way that they want, or you know, it could be many other reasons why they're trying to like sell and package some of these brands. Like I think Too Faced, Makeup Forever, MAC, and it's like, damn, like what did MAC do to you? But I think I kind of get it. I'm not going to speculate, but I mean, if it's time, I guess it's time. I just hope that they find a owner that isn't so controversial, if you know what I mean. You know, because I don't think it was a good year for them, if you know what I mean, for LVH and Estee Lauder, you know, so just saying. But I don't know if it has something to do with the boycotts or what. I don't know, but they're looking to sell, so there's that. And then KVD, oh god, KVD. I don't know about that brand. I really don't. Like, from the very beginning, once Kat Von D was like out of the door, y'all should have been rebranded and changed the name. I understand that it sucks because you probably had a bunch of like packaging already good to go with KVD on it, but if it was going to be the outcome at the end of the day, y'all should have been branded. Like rebranded the whole thing. And y'all were trying to like make the name work though, but it just never made sense. It just never made sense. And like, as a consumer, no one's really going to remember what your company kind of stands for with the initials. At least for me, I'm the type of consumer where like I just want things to be easy, and you know, I just want things to be easy. It's right there in my face. I'm also a lazy girl, so getting my attention is, you know, it's very limited. So to that, I say, you know, we'll see where that goes. Okay. So far looking great. I'm going to, I used the Fenty Beauty Bright pressed powder. So maybe I can go in. Let me get my drawer. Maybe I can go in with some LYS today. Let me take out some LYS pressed powders and then put my drawer back. Yeah. So we have Faithful. I'll probably use Faithful for all over the face. But we also have Independent. So I'm gonna go in with Independent under the under eye. Let me get my brush. But yeah, it's really different for 2026. Like, I don't know. Um, and I'm also kind of worried too about like what's going on in the beauty space when it comes down to like more brands that may, you know, be out the door. And so like I guess all we can do is just see how everything goes. But yeah, that is my worry. All we can do is really just support the brands that we want to support. Um, and if we have the money to do so, right? Because like how the economy is going and moving. Another thing about the makeup community is that everything is so saturated and everyone is releasing at the same time and probably releasing the same exact thing. And so it's really hard for a brand to stand out in that space. And so I think it's also time to think about your loyal consumers and how you got to this point, and just continue to move forward with developing, you know, products or extending shades or what have you. Like LYS kind of extended more of their blush shades. I will say they still need a fix on the liquid blushes because that made me irritated. That made me so irritated. I'm like, everything has a white base. That is so irritating. And also don't gaslight the makeup community about that. Like, say what your product and show what your product is intended to do and what the result actually is. Like, I'm kind of over it with like some of these brands that, you know, lie to the public and say like, oh, this shade looks like this, and then in reality it does not. So YSL, fix that please, because I don't know about even getting their blushes. I do want like 2 shades are very interesting, but also I'm like, I don't know, because like if y'all would have did that, put the same energy to those liquid blushes, then, you know, we would have been in a different situation. But I don't know. I haven't really also checked on like the development on whether or not if they did improve the shades, and honestly I really don't care for it. So it is what it is. So I also think like we're kind of just tired of brands kind of, I don't want to say like not skipping the line, but taking the shortcut. And then when they get in trouble for taking the shortcut and we're screaming about inclusivity or how this like product doesn't really work the way that you're explaining it that it's supposed to work, it is kind of irritating. And then the trust is also gone. And I'm also tired of like the controversies going on with these brands too. It's like, this is not making the makeup space fun, especially as like a consumer, because like I was a consumer before I even, you know, posted anything about makeup on my channel or on my Instagram. And so, you know, for me, I'm still like a kind of like a regular consumer. I shop for the brands that I'm interested in. I think everyone does. But if there's like a product that intrigues me, then I might, you know, splurge and drop a coin, you know. But other than that, I am still, you know, with my brands that I truly love, you know. And that's kind of how consumers move, because one, we trust the brand and the brand fits our aesthetic or lifestyle, and therefore, you know, we're more able to just support that brand versus trying out anything that's new. So it's like, and then also it comes down to like price too. I'm going in, should I go in with blush first or should I go in with bronzer? Because this, I just realized I didn't put like bronzer on. We'll do it. I already got it on my brush. I'm using the Pat McGrath Labs Divine Blush and Fluoratique. It will be in the description box. It will be in the description box. But yeah, that's kind of like how I feel, and also like I work in advertising too, so advertising to the public, you know, DTC. I have retail experience, QSR experience, and so like, and health and pharma. And so for me, like, you know, what has been like the most successful, you know, campaign ad that I've worked on is when, you know, the brand knows their audience and they know exactly, one, where they are or how they consume, you know, like their content, what their lifestyle is and things like that, because that's what the brand is all about, right? So for me, I'm just hoping that, like, I understand, you know, it's the new year, right? New year means new product brand launches or new brands like coming into the space, but you know, I hope it doesn't get too crazy, because like right now I think it's fine, but again, you know, we kind of have like other things going on in the background too, so it's like we shall see how it goes this year. But I'm just going to try to be, you know, positive. All we can do is be positive. So there's that. I'm going in with the Fenty Beauty Cream Bronzer. This is in chocolate. And you know what? I can take the same brush I used and go over it with a microfiber towel. So that's what I'm gonna do. Yeah, let me know your thoughts. Let me know what you think. Cause like for me, I'm also noticing that, like, you know, this space can be kind of toxic, especially with the whole Pat McGrath thing, how there were people who were actually happy that she filed for bankruptcy, which is like, that was crazy. That happened, that people were happy about that and like complaining about the pricing and about how, you know, this is why, you know, her company is selling the assets and closing down because of her prices, because she's not involved in all that stuff. It's just getting kind of crazy, getting kind of like toxic, and there's no need for that. Like, if you don't like a brand, if you don't want to shop it because of the price, you don't have to, but don't like tell the brand that you have to be affordable in order to thrive, because look at other brands who are not Black owned that are in the luxury space and they're still thriving. No one's really complaining about their pricing as much as you are, right? So it's like that kind of situation that makes it, you know, more toxic. And I think there's no need for negativity like that in this space. All right, you just gotta like work it in, my lord. All right, there we go. Now it's showing up. But yeah, I don't know. We'll see how this, how this goes. I'm just gonna continue to support the brands that I've been supporting. And if there is a brand that comes up that's like new, and they fit my aesthetic or they seem interesting, then, I'll try to support them. But I think I'm fine for right now for what I got. I think the only problem or issue that I have right now with my no-buy is eyeshadow palettes, because I already ordered the Glamour Natrix new palette. So I got that on the way. There will definitely be a video coming up. I'm gonna see if I can do a 3-look video. And then I'm getting the Adept Cosmetics eyeshadow palette when that goes on sale on the 26th. Because I love Adept Cosmetics. And I believe Glamour Natrix said that with this upcoming like palette, there's going to be 12 different eyeshadow palettes. Like it's going to be like an actual series, which I don't think I'm going to be able to survive my no buy if that's the case. Like I'm wondering if it's like 3 every year, or like how we're doing this, because like how are we releasing like 12 different palettes? Like how is this gonna work for me and my no buy, and like how is the brand going to like do that? Like that's the thing that I'm interested in, is how's Glamour Natrix going to be releasing these 12 different eyeshadow palettes in this series. That's just gonna be interesting. So we shall see about that. I'm next going to go in with the powder bronzer duo from Juvia's Place. And then I have a Pat McGrath face palette from my stash that I can use. I don't think that face palette is available though, but I'll see if I can link it. I think it was for one of the Mega Mothership launches that she did a while back, but this is what this is that I'm talking about. And it has 2 blushes and a highlighter. So we'll see. I have to check and see if it's still available, then I can link it. If not, I'll let you know what's discontinued, because it shot my stash, and I'm trying to be good and not like get rid of some things that are discontinued that I still like to use. And I think this is a good way for everyone to just use what they have, and it doesn't matter if it's discontinued, as long as you love it, as long as you're using your stash, I wouldn't worry too much about it. And you might even have this in your stash too that you can pull out. So yeah, I have to say that I definitely love the fact that we do have some brands that are unique, and that are just giving you different product launches, and who are inclusive. Whether if they're Black owned or not, there are inclusive brands out there that are not Black owned too. Especially the ones that I, use in my collection and things like that. I'm honestly looking forward for more indie stuff this year, though. Especially, you have Spellcast Beauty, who is coming out with like face stuff. Like I have their blushes, which I'm gonna definitely try their blush sticks out next video with their palette. But yeah, I'm just trying to be positive with this space and enjoy my time and playing with makeup here in my corner of the internet, and just watching how brands are moving for this year. And we shall, see what happens. I'm honestly excited really for Pat McGrath, I have to say, because like I'm like wondering, are we gonna get like a mothership? Is there gonna be other like collections coming up? Because like, she really has to, if you know, you know. So it's like, obviously she would need to be producing more product and new product launches in order for her to kind of like, I mean, it's been, certain stories where other brand owners were able to get their company back. Technically it's still her company, she's just a CCO, but it's like you also owe a certain amount to your, a private equity firm that invested in you. So it's, in order for you to pay them back and make that money and, perform in a way that they see that you can perform with them, or, you have to perform this way in order for them to like stay and like continue investing, is by producing and making new products. So it's like, she already has the lip duos coming out. So, I'm hopeful that hopefully we get like other things. Like it could be a collection for all I care. All I know is that we also don't have cream bronzers. So maybe that could be in the works too. If we have like cream bronzers, that would be amazing. So this is the Pat McGrath Labs Divine Blush and Glow Trio and Amber Allure, and I'm going in with Paradise Venus. So Paradise Venus is more of like it's kind of like I want to say terracotta brown shade of blush. And it's honestly one of my favorites too, because it goes with pretty much anything. But yeah, this is the palette from, I want to say, one of the mega motherships. Like it has to. But yeah, we shall see. My recording kind of like stopped, so hopefully it's good. But yeah, I also wanted to post more videos of me doing my base too, because like I know I kind of like skip it for like eyeshadow palette looks and things like that. So I definitely wanted to have a couple of videos up where I'm doing my my base and like everything in my like get ready with me routine and what I'm using, instead of just like telling you what I'm using. Actually having you like see me use the product and things like that, I believe kind of like goes a long way too. So that's also why for like these rounds of videos, it's a little bit different. It's a different format. Okay. Yeah, I definitely like how this this palette is performing. This shade, Paradise Venus, is absolutely amazing. And then I can top it off slightly with the highlighter too, while I'm at it, on top, like so. Like so. All right. Next, now base is completely done. So I'm gonna go in with my Amicole brow Ultra Flex Brow Shaping Gel. Also have the LYS one, but I'm trying to finish this. RIP to Amicole, unfortunately. But this is also in my shop, my stash. And I would like to use this palette. I mean, this brow gel. All right, that's that. And now we can, you know, move on to powdering the rest of the face. I'm gonna go in with the LYS pressed powder and Faithful as the triple fix translucent setting powder. And I'm just going to take a BK brush. This is the 101 brush, and kind of tap like so. I hope you guys don't hear that beeping. I don't know why it's beeping. I don't know why there are beepings. Anywho, I'm gonna powder the rest of my face. I'm just trying to get some of the, you know, when you have like some sheen kind of like peeking through. Trying to get rid of that a bit. And everything is good. And then next I'm going to set my face, but before that, I kind of want to go in real quick with bronzer just for my nose, just a bit. So I'm gonna take some Juvia's Place and just tap it, especially where the shape is here on this brush. This is the e.l.f. Putty bronzer brush. And I'm just gonna go on the edge like this and like kind of bring that shape back in my nose. All right, that's done. And now we can move on with the eyeshadow palette. All right, I just primed my eyelids. I'm gonna move on with this palette. I'm gonna first go in with this matte shade here, and then I'll probably go in and maybe mix the two here. and then go in with one of the iridescent shades that are like on the first row, these two here. So we shall see what I come up with. Going in with my Adept Cosmetics brush. This is in the E18. One thing is that their eyeshadows are powdery and very pigmented. Like, look at that. It's very pigmented. Alright, it's gonna do the same thing on the other side. This shade is really nice. I love the shade. I'm curious about what else like Notoriously Morbid is going to like be releasing. I know that their shipping takes a while. I ordered this in September. I got it in like February. So like end of February. So it's like, I mean, kind of in time for Valentine's Day, but not quite. But you know, you know. But it's like, I'm not the one to hop on things that are trending and like post it on my channel. My channel is really about, you know, using my collection, doing shop my stashes, you know, playing with indie makeup brands and things like that, but mostly showing my love for my makeup collection really, and, you know, using it. I'm always curious about what other color stories they're going to come up with, because they just have like one of the most unique color stories too. So it's going to be interesting to see like the future of Notoriously Morbid. But on that note, I also think I talked about like Tom Ford being in Ulta. Like, that's wild times. Do you think that it fits Ulta's, like, do you think it fits it? Because it's gonna be Tom Ford like makeup, so it's like, you know, obviously the reward system is way better in Ulta, and you can kind of like use your points and stack them, and you know, totally different than Sephora. So I guess that's a good thing for consumers. That's a good thing for us, because then we can, you know, save our points and use it to get, you know, Tom Ford stuff, like how I did with the Natasha Denona palette. Yeah, I really did. Like, I only paid like $12 for one palette and $34 for the other, and they were $89 each. So it's like, you know, I'll take it. A win's a win. So, you know, we'll see how it goes for like Tom Ford and things like that. But a win is a win for me. I don't know who else. I definitely know there's a lot of like Korean brands that are moving into Sephora and Ulta. Korean skincare and makeup. The Fui line it's kind of like, I kind of want to like purchase some, but also I'm like, I have enough blush. So we'll see like what other brands are going to go into Sephora and Ulta, and hopefully they end up staying and making it work. because like some of these brands are like exiting out of Sephora like hotcakes. And you know, I don't know, but I guess it just didn't work out for them. So we'll see. But I definitely have a list of brands that I also want to try out too in the future, or like products that like just launch or are going to launch soon. So you know, you might see that on my channel of me testing new products out. But I have a list of things of like how, you know, I want to go about doing this, because like, yeah, I'm on a no buy, but I also want to give myself kind of like a limit of purchases to make. So far I brought 2 palettes this year, which is the Byredo palette and the Glamour-Natrix palette that they just launched. And then I'm gonna get my 3rd palette, which is the Adept Cosmetics new palette. So that's 3 eyeshadow palettes so far, and we're like in February, almost about to be in March. So, you know, we'll see how it goes. I was thinking like maybe I could do like 12 could be the limit, or 10 could be the limit for me. So for like eyeshadow palettes, so we'll see how this goes. I'm gonna mix the 2 shades up top. So this shade that I just went in along with the red shade, which this shade is As If, and this shade is Hate You Forever. Yeah, very anti-Valentine vibes. Kind of want to see how it would work with just like this. So, you know, we shall see. It is deepening it up a bit, but I might need to go in with the blue shade to like really deepen it in, because I do want to give these mattes a try. So yeah, that's what I'm gonna do right now. Yeah, that's looking much better. Yeah, it's looking much better for sure. It's really deepening it in. It doesn't look gray or anything, or like, it honestly is starting to look kind of brown, which is great for me. So maybe I'll do that to the other side too. So let me take some red and some of that brown matte shade, and I'm gonna blend it in like so. Oh wow, yeah, it is working. Oh, that's interesting. Oh wow, that's nice. That is really nice. Oh, this is nice. Okay, I like how that's like looking so far. All right, now let's try these iridescent shades. I believe these definitely look like iridescent shades. So I'm gonna take this shade first, and I'm gonna put it towards where I placed the blue shade. Yeah, this is definitely iridescent. Oh wow, this looks nice. Very, very sparkly. wow. All right, let me go in on the other side. All right, now I'm gonna go in with the blue iridescent. Ooh. Definitely gonna need like a brush for this though. Oh, this is nice. All right, let me get a brush and really go in. All right, look at that. The iridescent shades are really amazing. When Notoriously Morbid does it too, because like it's not too chunky, it's nice and smooth and sparkly. You can definitely see the shifts and the shimmers and how it goes from blue to green to kind of like gold. Same thing with the pink iridescent. You kind of see a hint of purple and gold too. Basically, it kind of looks like when you get this palette, if it's still available, it looks like this, because it has like I don't know, it's like rainbowy. So all right, this is nice. I like how it went. All right, so that's done. I don't think I want to do anything for the bottom eyelid, so I think I'm gonna leave that as that, and we're gonna move on with mascara and lips, and I'm gonna close out the video. All right, for lips, I'm going in with the Ami Collet lip liner. This is in Petite Cola. And I'm gonna just see if, okay, let me warm it up a bit. All right. And now I'm gonna put on Pat McGrath. This is in Flesh 4. But this is one of my favorite shades to put on. Yep. And I am officially done, guys. I'm gonna real quick spray my face with some Danessa Myricks spray. Obviously, when you use this spray, you have to pat it down. So that's what I am going to do. And you have to shake it real good, too. All right, let's do this. All right. Now I'm going to take a brush like this. I have so many 101 brushes. And I just love them to also pat down setting spray. And that's that. All right, so this was kind of like a makeup and yap type of video. I used to do this like when I started this channel, and it's just kind of like my thoughts that I think about you know, what's going on in the makeup beauty space or what's affecting the makeup beauty space, to be honest with you. But let me know what you guys think in the comments about, you know, like some brands are leaving Sephora, and brands are like going into Ulta. And then like, does it also make sense to the brand? I guess so, because more foot traffic, but does it make sense for a brand to be in Sephora and in Ulta? It's just weird. It doesn't, I don't know. It makes sense, but it doesn't make sense at the same time. Because one, that's basically your competitor, kind of. But like, I guess not, because you're owned by the same company. Is Ulta owned by the same company? I think they are owned by the same company as Sephora. But let me double check. Let me double check. Who owns Sephora and Ulta? Let's see. Let's see. So LVMH owns Sephora, and Ulta is not owned by another company. It is an independent, publicly traded company. Okay, so there's no parent company. Okay, so then it does, I guess it does make sense, because they have a better reward system at Ulta than at Sephora, but I guess they have different audiences. I'm just trying to figure out how it's working in terms of like a marketing. You know, that's my thing. But okay, so Ulta is not owned by LVMH. So that's good. That it makes more sense now. It does make more sense now. But let me know what you think about, you know, some of the brands that are moving into Ulta, that are, you know, luxury, high-end kind of brands, or, you know, independent brands as well. Because I think we have like Made by Mitchell that's also in Ulta too. So that's interesting to see him there. I do have some of his stuff as well that I could, you know, use, because it's also in my stash, but don't think I'm gonna get anything else from that brand. They didn't really like release anything that kind of like intrigued me, so yeah, but I'll use what I have in my collection, because, you know, it's my collection. But yeah, let me know your thoughts about like the makeup community, about, you know, the news, what's happening in, you know, Ulta and Sephora and like Pat McGrath. And remember to love yourself, be kind to yourself, and love your skin. And I hope you have an amazing day. Bye.